Welcome to the 7th episode of 6th Letter to Earth. My name is Kyle and welcome to episode 7. Lucky number 7, as some people would say. But I say you make your own luck. When it comes to luck, you only make your luck. No one else makes it. There's no voodoo associated with other numbers unless if you associate things with numbers. That's among one of the things I have learned in my journey so far in this path that I have chosen. I have learned that life is different than what I thought it was going to be. I've learned that your mind is a beautiful thing and it should be cherished. And those are just a few things I'm going to talk about, amongst other things. And we'll obviously do our guided meditation. But first, let's go through some news and stuff like that, I guess. Or not news, but if you're listening to this, wherever you're listening it to, maybe you have a better place you want to listen to, because this podcast is also on Google. It is also on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and Podchaser. So you can check it out there. Also, if you like live gaming, I play my gaming on Twitch and my suggestion box, or where you can see where I'm kind of planning for some future episode ideas, I leave them in sticky notes for myself, and where anyone else can leave sticky notes on an app called D-Box. That is all on D-Box, and I leave future episodes there for suggestions and for me to memorize kind of some episodes that I kind of want to do later on in the future. So you can check all that. All of those will be in the link tree in the description of wherever you find this podcast. So you can check that all out. So it's been an interesting couple of months. Months. Would I say months, or would it be month? A month and a half for me, I guess you could say. I've started a journey. I became a completely different person from where I was. Well, for the most part. I think that my journey has allowed me to kind of see things from other sides, and has allowed me to accept some of the things that have come in, and to handle events that are happening now in the future, and to understand where we are going, what we need. The major thing is positivity. I want to be a beacon of positivity and light. And that's why every Friday or Thursday, one of the two, I will be doing a positivity stream on TikTok in the morning. I'll more likely still do one this weekend. I'm not sure. If it's not Thursday morning, I want to do it for Thursday evening. If it's not Friday morning, then I want to do it for Thursday evening. Just due to the fact that I am going to be away on Friday, more likely. So we'll see how things go. But that is something I'm considering doing. That's something I'm considering doing this week. So check out the positivity stream. The first one felt amazing. I'll be doing another guided meditation at the end of this podcast also. As we do, I'll say a prayer and see if we can get some message from the divine about anything going on. So, now, so this is going off the cusp. I don't have anything planned. I didn't have a direction I wanted to go. I just wanted to talk about my journey so far, who I was and who I have become now. So, that is what the 7th episode is going to be about. Alright. So, my journey so far and messages I've learned and things that I want to learn and things I want to see where I've been from. So I want to talk about the person I used to be. And I think I may have briefly talked about this, but this is kind of just going to be another outlook on my life, outlook on life in the world, and how things are going. So, my journey so far, since I've started this podcast, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about forgiving people, and it's come full circle, because at the beginning of this podcast, I had an event happen that I wasn't too happy with everything going on, and a friendship was in danger. Well, we finally started talking again, so hope that spreads into something positive there. I'm pretty excited about that. That's something that it affected me because we were very close, and I was in the wrong mindset because we got into a political discussion, and politics did exactly what politics does, and that's just how things go. So that's all coming back together, and that's all kind of getting fixed up there. So I've learned how to forgive. I've also learned to take chances, and you can change your way. You can change your future by not being afraid. I'm going to give an example with my work. Ever since the beginning of the year, we've been working Saturdays at work, and actually even a little bit before that, during Christmas, we were doing Saturdays, and for the Christmas holidays, everyone wants their packages. We gotta go 6 days a week, right? So we were working 6 days a week. It was tiring. It was a pain in the ass, and we were just all thinking, okay, yeah, it's just for winter. But it became policy. So we came into a point where we needed to work Saturdays. Now, one thing with me with my work, is I'm always willing to do whatever job I need to do. And that is my mentality still. But the one thing I didn't do really good was stopping to think maybe I should think about my household first. I really wasn't thinking about my household first. I really was thinking about just trying to provide, but I was missing out on time with my family. So I had to work these Saturdays. I had to work these late evening shifts. Sure, I'd only work short amount of time, but I wouldn't be coming home till 5, 6, and miss out on a good chunk of the night when my son came home from school. Then Saturdays, I missed a full day pretty much. Like, I'd have the afternoon, but I'd still miss so much time with my family. So it was coming to the point where it's like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to work Saturdays? And besides, Saturdays, the shifts that my schedulers, my boss, and I don't know if it's their fault. They might have just been a little upset. They gave me, was also a tricky one. It was a hard one to do, to manage out the timing of everything correctly. So I don't know if they were already planning on changing it, but ever since I did that, the Saturdays I had to work, I gave my 2 weeks notice one day. And ever since the 2 weeks notice, it seems like they made my 2 Saturdays that I worked easier, and then I didn't have to work today. and I got to spend time with my son, and it was amazing. So I took the leap of faith of trying to get my 2 weeks notice, and a couple days later, my manager comes up to me and is like, "Hey man, we're looking for a part-time position here, and I think maybe it might be good for you. You can work a couple days here or there," and we worked it out where I'm still working for them, just part-time, and I'm not working as many hours. And I got myself a secondary job, which I can do on my days off, choose my own hours, and go from there. So it kind of worked out in the end. I took a leap of faith, gave my notice to a job that I've been for 4 years. I was not happy with the conditions, and I was not happy that my family could not see me. That's what I feel like that's what this time period everyone is in right now. You're going to be presented with choices. Fearful choices. Choices that you're scared of. You're breaking your norm. You're breaking the normalcy that you've had in your life. And multiple times when I talk, it's gonna damage what you have going for you. Take it, because you may not know what's on the other side until you take that leap of faith, till you reach through the veil. Because right now, back there, that's your old self, and you're gonna need to come through. You're going to need to become different. You're going to need to change. You're going to take chances. So this story, the reason why I bring up this story is because I took a chance. I was willing to leave the job completely and figure something else out. I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out my own way. I'll figure out my own money. I'll do something. I didn't have a job lined up. I was like, I'll find my own job. I'll figure something out. Now I have part-time at the place I was working for 4 years. Still doing that. Easier shifts, and I have a part-time job where I can keep working my own hours and I don't have to worry about it. So it kind of worked out in the end. I took a leap of faith. I was scared, and it worked out. And maybe that's what the divine were talking about. The divine have an interesting way of talking to us when I meditate and get going. And who knows, maybe that was their message. It's going to be scary at first, but it's going to work out in the end. So maybe that's what it was. I've been learning that I want to be a light warrior. Because, like I said, I believe there's a battle between dark and light going on right now. And I'm taking this role seriously. I need to be a beacon of positivity. This Friday I had my first positivity stream, and it felt amazing. Felt wonderful. For everyone who watched it, thank you for watching and coming to this podcast and listening to this. Because I truly feel like I need to be a light warrior. And I feel it's a part of my duty as being a light warrior is to spread the message and try to get other people to become light warriors. I'm learning. I don't know everything. There's a few things I want to learn. I want to learn how to do astral projection, lucid dreaming. Those are the kind of things I want to try to learn. I'm going to start doing things to kind of work on that. I'm going to start recording my dream journal. I'm going to get a dream journal going, and I'm going to try to get lucid dreams going. Because I've done some studying, and I believe, I don't know if I said this last week, but something I need to talk a bit more about is quantum minds or quantum timelines, where our future is already laid out, or at least one of our futures is laid out, and we can jump through it back and forth in quantum dreaming. I'll get more into that some other time, and that's, to me, it just feels like this is working. Feels like I'm on the right track. Feels right. And I hope to keep spreading light and positivity to everyone around. I'm trying to spread light and positivity everywhere. And that's my goal. That is my mission, to spread positivity. Because it sounds like we're going to get a lot of news coming out soon. We've already got one of the stories out. that is going to really push the emotions. It's really going to test everyone. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the 215 bodies found at a Kamloops Residential School. This whole situation with the residential schools is traumatic. It's a tragedy. It's horrific. But if you know anything about residential schools, there's absolutely no way we could have been naive to think that something like this wasn't there. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It's a tragedy. It's a crime against humanity. And I think as more residential schools get looked at around their grounds, I'm sure we are going to find many, many more bodies, unfortunately. And many, many more people are going to get outraged and upset. And I get the anger. I understand the emotion of anger and disgust and hatred that everyone will be feeling. But I gotta give a warning out right now. Don't allow it to make you do something divisive. You can be angry, you can be upset, you can be hurt. Shed tears for those children. But think about how that happened. How could that happen? Who caused that to happen? It's not a blanket race who did that. It wasn't just a blanket thing, white people doing that. It was a group of people who allowed that to happen. The Canadian government enacted residential school policies, probably on the words of the royal family, and executed by the Catholic Church, the Vatican. So you got government, you got the royal family, and you got the Vatican. Interesting, if you think about the globe right now, who's the top three who's three groups that are controlling our lives? Government. The royal family doesn't control our lives, but they have a lot of wealth and a lot of secrets, and they used to control a lot. So we got government, we got the royal family, and the Vatican. Three groups that have a lot of secrets, and they're also running a lot of what's going on today. So they're going to probably try to spin this to make it more of a divisive thing, where they're going to try to make you hate the race. They could probably bring race card into it. They're probably going to be like, you need to hate all white people because white people did this. People are going to try to do that. And just think for yourself, it wasn't all white people. Descendants of white people didn't do this. The descendants of those people who enacted those policies didn't do this. It was the people in that time. And yes, I will say that generational trauma is a real thing. And it's good to bring awareness to what happened. But we need to not allow our emotions to get the better of us and maybe distract us from who we really need to be focusing on. That's my warning about this whole situation. And I believe there's going to be way more coming out. And way more stories similar to this. So this is why it was something I wouldn't have been able to do when I was the way I was before I became this light warrior. Because if I had seen that, I would have been like, oh, look, now it's all just going to be a divisive thing. It's all going to be a race thing. Well, now as a light warrior, I'm like, no, we got to warn. I got to send a warning out to not allow it to become divisive. Bring awareness. Absolutely. but remember who caused it. Because that's who needs to shovel the blame. That's who needs to answer this. And we can't be naive to think that there isn't more bodies. And I'm sorry that I had to say that. I'm sorry I had to talk about this, but I'll leave a link to a story about this in the description of this podcast. So you can all read about the residential schools and you can understand what's going on. So, and I believe a lot of that is because I believe a lot of people don't believe in the residential schools or believe that it happened because they don't teach about that in schools very much. They don't bring awareness to that kind of thing because they don't want us to think that the governments are like that. They don't want us to think that our government is that evil. And the thing is, they'll try to make it seem like it was that government and not this one. And they'll try to make it seem like it was so long ago. It was within 100 years. Within 100 years. That's still really close. That's still really, really close. That's only 2 generations. 2 generations off. We can't ignore what happened. I absolutely agree. But, like I said, we can't let our emotions get the best of us, and we gotta stay focused. And try to stay positive as much as we can. Grow as a community. As I am First Nations. I'm a First Nations man. And one thing I want to say is, instead of being angry at the government who caused this, let's grow our people, learn our culture, learn our heritage, and we can grow and be stronger. Yes, we can cry for the ones that we've lost. And we can bring awareness to what has happened. But instead of seeking revenge on people, we need to start uniting and growing our community. Bring ourselves up without bringing others down. Because remember, the revenge thing, one of my favorite quotes is, when we all go an eye for an eye, we'll both eventually be blinded and we'll lose all control. And we'll easily be able to be controlled. So, that is just a warning I have about this. And my heart goes out to everyone. Because this is tragic. And I'm almost going to guarantee you that you go to many residential schools and you look at the grounds, you're going to find more bodies. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But we can't be naive to think that Kamloops was the only one. And, yeah. And it's just, I'm going to have a moment of silence for that. I just need a second here. All right, thanks. I just wanted to do that, and I'm going to add into the prayer to try to cast some of the negativity out and be positive and go from there. All right. Well, I want to get into my guided meditation. My meditation. I'm pretty excited about it. So we will get into my meditation. First things first. Next week's episode is going to be the apocalypse. Yes, the end of days. Destruction of our earth. Or is it? Well, tune in next week to find out. On Sixth Letter to Earth. Alright, let's get into some meditation. Alright, now our music is here. I'm going to get in position. I'm going to get ready to meditate. the music on. Alright. Take off my glasses. Alright. So, let's get into it today. Enjoy the music. And I'll get into the receiving position. Receiving position, I'm sitting in, cross-legged, palms on top of my knees. As long as my back is straight and aligned, that's what matters. as I see